The town of Plainville. Established in 1721 at the geographical center of Connecticut.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our regular meeting of the Plainville Town Council. Tonight is Monday, February 6, 2023, 7 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will ask Councilman Underwood to lead us. If you'll stand.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, just before we begin, our town manager is not here this evening, so our assistant town manager, Andy Cirioli, will be presenting the town manager's remarks as we get along into the meeting. So thank you and good luck. I know it's your first time, but it's all right. It's all right. You'll do fine. All right, so we'll begin. We do not have any presentations this evening, nor do we have any public hearings. May I have an approval of the minutes of our previous meeting?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to accept the January 17th, 2023 regular meeting, January 19th, and the 25th, 2023 special meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Announcements and reports. Does anybody have any announcements or reports to make tonight?
Madam Chair?
Rosemary?
Yes, last Thursday, I had the opportunity to represent the town council at the Chamber of Commerce Business Awards. These actually went back to 2020 when the dinner had to be canceled. As you know, Plainville is now part of the regional, so the regional was, involved in organizing this, but it does go back to the 2020 winners. And there were 7 businesses which were honored, and I was very honored to present the plaques to them on behalf of the town council.
Great. Anything else, Rosemary?
That was it.
Not this week, huh?
Not this week.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to add, announcements tonight? I'd like to make a quick report. Last Friday, the police department had a special ceremony to recognize Officer Brian Cybulski. He passed away almost 2 years ago due to an unfortunate accident. In the past year or so, the chief has been reviewing some of the needs at the police department, and he has decided to use some of our ARPA funding to improve some of the areas that all the officers tend to use on a frequent basis. So what the decision was is that the lower kitchen lounge downstairs, which is where the officers will convene to have their lunch or their dinner. As you know, police officers are 24/7 operation, so they have a small room downstairs that they have their lunch and dinner in. The chief took some of the dollars that the council had approved and redid the room. It's a great space. It has some new finishes. The floor is redone. There's no refrigerator. There's a stove, a microwave, a place for them to sit down. And on one of the wall spaces, there's a very, very nice graphic cutout of Officer Cybulski's name. And the room is dedicated in his honor as a memory of a recent officer that had passed. There were a number of officers there. Councilman Underwood was there as well. And Officer Cybulski's family was there. So it was a very nice tribute to a young man who had been a police officer during his adult career and unfortunately had a tragic accident. So that was last Friday. If anybody else have anything to add, announcements or reports? If not, we'll move along under appointments and resignations.
Madam Chair?
Rosemary?
Motion to appoint Barbara Davison, 28 Northampton Lane, to the Library Board of Trustees for the term ending November 4th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 2.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to add a new item to number 2 and bump everything down one number.
Okay.
Okay, so number 2, motion to accept with regret the resignation of Deborah Hardy from the Board of Education.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If there are any comments on the motion, I would like to thank Mrs. Hardy. She had served almost 12 years on the Board of Education. She had to resign her position. Her position is actually up for reelection this coming November. But I would like to thank her on behalf of the council. She's a friend of mine. 12 years is a very long time to dedicate to a volunteer position, one of which is extremely important. So I wish her well, and I wish her great happiness in her future. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 2?
No,
Three.
I did number 2. Number 3 is Dave.
Oh, all right. You're going to do the next one, Dave?
Yes, motion to appoint Zachary Martin, 92 Stonecrest Drive, Bristol, as a probationary firefighter to the Plainville Fire Department.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next one?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
motion to reappoint David Merzak to the Housing Authority for a new term of 2/1/2023 to 2/1/2028.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is that Dave Mazurek? Dave
Yeah.
Mazurek? Okay.
Madam Chair, do we make the motion for Roberta Laurie?
Yes, you should.
Madam Chair, motion to appoint Roberta Laura, 18 Perrin Road, to the Board of Education for a term ending November 7th, 2023.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I was not present at the nomination, and I didn't hear the discussion that was given, so I feel that I cannot cast a vote tonight, so I'd like to abstain from voting.
Okay. I have one abstention and 6 ayes. Motion passes. Are there any other appointments or resignations tonight?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Rocco?
motion to appoint the following individuals as regular members to the Economic Development Agency. Joseph Klepacki Jr. to a term ending November 9th, 2024, and Helen Bergenti to a term ending November 9th, 2026.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Are there any others?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion to appoint for the new term 10/1/22 to 10/1/2028 to the Board of Assessment of Appeals, Gail Dennehy, 28 Perrin Road.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Tompkins.
motion to reappoint to the Capital Region Council of Governments, one appointment for new term 1/1/2023 to 12/31/2023, Jennifer Bartis Early, 74 South Washington Street.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Are there any other appointments or reappointments tonight? There were a lot of them to catch up on, so,
Madam Chair,
yes.
motion to reappoint the following individuals to the Inland Wetlands Commission: Sandra Talbot, Patricia LaBelle, and David Garuski.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Are there any other appointments or reappointments tonight?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion to reappoint to Recycling and Solid Waste Commission for the new term 2/1/2023 to 2/1/2025, Richard Ireland.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there any other appointments tonight? Any others? Okay, I guess we're all set. Thank you. All right. Report of the town attorney, Attorney Mastriani tonight. How are you? Do you have anything for us tonight? Do not have a report. Okay. Thanks for being with us. Okay, moving on. Report of the town manager, Assistant Town Manager Sirioli. Your turn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On behalf of Town Manager Mike Paulus, I'll deliver his report to the council.
Thank you.
For the CROG 2023 Local Transportation Capital Improvement Program LOTSIP request for proposals, The Capital Region Council of Governments is soliciting proposals for transportation improvements under their local transportation capital improvement program, that's called LOTSIP. The engineering department has identified the reconstruction of Redstone Hill as a top priority for funding. Work will cover approximately 2,300 linear feet from Town Line Road to Poitras Road in Bristol. John Bossy, town engineer, is here with us tonight, and if you have any questions, either him or I can try to answer them. But essentially, there's a summary of the scope of work has been planned for Redstone Hill, and there's an item under new business to authorize the town manager to submit an application, or to submit a proposal, rather, to the Capital Region Council of Governments.
Okay.
The 2023 sidewalk construction project. The engineering department is proposing to use remaining uncommitted capital sidewalk replacement account funds to replace sidewalks on Florence Lane. There's approximately $240,000 available in these various accounts. The estimated cost for the replacement of sidewalks on Florence Lane is approximately $200,000. The engineering department is requesting to extend the current bid number 2022-16E, sidewalk construction, to D&P Moray's construction through a change order. D&P Moray's construction successfully completed the installation of sidewalks last summer without any issues, and they have expressed an interest to continue with a modest increase, which engineering department has determined as reasonable. There is an item under new business to request your approval for a change order to that bid number 2022-16E, to extend the contract limits and value to replace the sidewalks on Florence Lane. An update on the Honor Heights discussion. The public hearing for the Honor Heights was completed on January 19th with approximately 31 homeowners/residents in attendance. The majority of homeowners, approximately 50, were not present. A preliminary design was completed by Ty and Bond on January 6th, and a portion of that design was used at the public hearing to identify potential lateral connections to homes. As a follow-up to the public hearing, a letter and map indicating lateral connections was mailed to each homeowner, explaining that in most cases accommodations can be made with respect to the movement and relocation of the laterals. In addition, 3 easements are required for this project, and the town manager has undertaken outreach to schedule meetings to begin negotiating these easements. He has held 1 meeting so far with Countryside Condominiums, and he is looking to speak with representatives at Mott Corporation and homeowners at 23 Robideau Road. In regard to Robertson Airport events, Mr. Scata from Interstate Aviation had reported that the airport and the town have been approached by 3 organizations that would like to use the airport as a venue for their respective events. The first is a car show by Next Gen, which will be held on April 30th. This event will be in Hangar 1. The second event is Food Truck Battles by FestX Productions. This will be on the weekend of May 20th and 21st. And this event is similar in scope to the flying events that the airport has previously hosted. The third event is a penny sale by the Plainville Rotary Club, and this will occur sometime in early May. A date hasn't been finalized yet. The airport will remain open and operational during all 3 events, and a portion of the money raised from each event will be donated to local charities. The commission voted to approve all 3 events with the understanding that a fair amount of the proceeds and total profits will be donated to local charities, and the town manager will make a final decision as to an appropriate donation amount to each charity. On the White Oak redevelopment update, the project is moving along, but there has been some small changes to personnel at DECD. Don Friday, who was the project manager, has left the agency and was replaced by Mark Burno. Mr. Burno has a history of working with Ty and Bond and was quickly brought up to speed on the White Oak project. Manafort Newport Realty has been accepted into the Abandoned Brownfield Cleanup ABC program. The town was accepted into the program and was granted a 1-year extension to coincide with the end date of MNR. Ty and Bond has completed the supplemental assessment work, which included additional soil borings and water sampling. Upon further review, Ty and Bond feels there are other areas of concern that require further delineation. Attorney Mastriani is working to finalize the property title search, and once the title search is completed and sent to the state, Attorney Mastriani will begin finalizing the financial assistance agreement documents with DECD. Once those documents are completed, the state will be able to release grant funding to allow the town to seek reimbursement for eligible costs to move forward with the purchase. Crooked Street Bridge repairs. CTDOT is coordinating the repair of 2 bridges for Crooked Street. The first project, bridge repairs to Crooked Street over I-84. This is a pin replacement and renovation. The pre-construction meeting is scheduled for February 9th, 2023, and construction is scheduled to begin in the spring of this year with a projected completion date in 2024. Residents and motorists can expect lane closures and possible alternating one-way traffic. Both day and night construction can also be expected. The second project is replacement of the bridge over the Pan Am Railroad, and it is currently in pre-design phase. The last update I have on behalf of the town manager is regarding Whiting Street repaving. The reconstruction project is in preliminary design and has been submitted to the Capital Region Council of Governments, and this was submitted back in December of 2022. Revisions to the preliminary design are ongoing. Easement negotiations to begin on or about February 17th, with a public information meeting on or about March 27th. So that's all I have for the town manager's report, and if there's any questions, Mr. Bossy is here who can answer them regarding engineering.
Okay.
I'll do my best to field them. I'll take notes back to the town manager if you have any, and if you're all set, I can go on to the happenings after that.
Okay, why don't you go on to happenings, and if anybody has questions, we'll do them at the end.
Yeah, certainly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have quite a few happenings for today. I'll start off with the Historical Society. The Plainville Historical Society is hosting a 2-part program in celebration of Black History Month on Thursday, February 23rd, starting at 7 p.m. The program will feature stories from Plainville's own African-American heritage. Presenters are Gail Johnson-Williams, a local African-American history specialist, and her sisters, Lisa and Allison Johnson. Visit www.plainvillehistoricalsociety.com for more information and instructions on how to register to attend. From the Assessor's Office, the Board of Assessment Appeals will hold meetings during the month of March 2023 in the Municipal Center for the purpose of hearing appeals related to real estate and personal property assessment for the October 1, 2022 grand list, as well as supplemental motor vehicle assessments on the October 1, 2021 grand list. Written applications for appeal hearings are required to be filed by 4 p.m. on February 21st, 2023, and applications may be obtained in the Assessment and Revenue Collection Office, or they can be found online at www.plainvillect.com. Appellants will also be notified by mail of the time and date of their hearing in March. From the Recreation Department, the Plainville Recreation Department currently has registration open for their winter and spring programs. Residents can view the program brochure at the Rec Department Facebook page titled Plainville Recreation. To register and to view more information, please visit plainvillect.recdesk at plainvillect.recdesk.com. Pavilion rentals and registration for summer camp and all other summer programs will begin on Monday, April 3rd for Plainville residents and Monday, April 10th for non-residents. And you can call the Recreation Department at 860-747-6022 with any questions. From the Senior Center, for any information on Senior Center programs, you can call the Senior Center at 860-747-5728. And unless otherwise noted, all programs are free and open to the public. The first is fall prevention. That'll be on Monday, February 13th at 10 a.m. Learn the facts about intrinsic risk factors of falling, environmental safety techniques, and physical and occupational therapy opportunities, and you can call the Senior Center to register. Caregiving Connections will be on Tuesday, February 14th at 10 a.m. Individuals providing 24/7 care are invited to join the support group to discuss their experiences and challenges. Infinity Scarf Crafting Class is on Wednesday, February 15th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This is an easy-to-make project where participants will make a nice infinity scarf. The Breakfast Club is having 2 sessions, a women's breakfast on Tuesday, February 14th at 8:30 a.m., and a men's breakfast on Friday, February 17th at 8:30 a.m. And you can enjoy an informal breakfast with a group of friends at a local restaurant in Plainville, and participants will order and pay for their own meals, and if you'd like to join, you can call the Senior Center. Snappy Senior Photography will be on Thursday, February 16th at 10:30 a.m. You could join this event where participants will share photos of their favorite events and activities. Memory Cafe at the Senior Center will be on Thursday, February 16th at 2 p.m. Individuals experiencing changes in their memory and their caregivers are invited to join the Memory Cafe. This is a safe and supportive social gathering for people experiencing similar life challenges. Medicare Patrol presentation and bingo will be on Thursday, February 23rd at 10 a.m. You could learn how to protect, detect, and report Medicare fraud and abuse while playing bingo and winning prizes, and you may call the Senior Center to register. And the last update I have is regarding help for veterans. Eric Vickers, a Veterans Service Officer from the Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs, will be at the Senior Center on Wednesday, March 1st, and he is available by appointment only. If an individual would like to schedule an appointment with Mr. Vickers, they can call him at 203-805-6343. And that concludes the happenings.
Okay. Okay, thank you for both of your reports. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Andy's town manager report along with his happenings? Great job.
Thanks for making it easy.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. We're on item number 9, our public comment section. During this section of our meeting, we welcome the public to come and speak to the council. If you're interested in speaking, please come to the podium. The mic is on. Please state your name and address. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Before we do that, however, I do want to make note of some emails that the town council has received. These 6 emails have been received as of 4 p.m. on today. I'm not going to read all the emails. I'll certainly acknowledge the folks that wrote them. These emails will also be kept as part of our official record. The town clerk is going to make sure she gets a copy of them, and she'll scan them, and it'll be in our meeting packet for next week as part of our official correspondence. However, 2 folks asked that their email be read. I will read you a portion of them. The first one is from Melissa Steele. She states, our family is in favor of Renovate Like New to be proposed to the state for the grant. We have 3 elementary-age children now attending Tafalon, who will be future students at MSP. The grant will positively benefit the town to keep renovations at a lower cost to us taxpayers. That was from Melissa. I received, I won't say I, we've all received these. Another email, this is from Allison, I believe it's Ozga, O-Z-G-A. She writes, hello, I am writing this letter to be read at tonight's town council meeting. As a parent of 2 young children, we are or will be attending Plainville Community Schools. I'm appalled the town council voted to not allow a town vote regarding the MSP renovation plans. This is deeply problematic and makes it appear the citizens' voices do not matter. She ends with, please do good on your campaign promise. Do not take this power away from us. It is our kids' future and safety on the line. That was from Allison. The other letters we received were from Marie Clark. I got an AOL, I'm sorry, this is from Val Dume. His email address didn't show up at the top. Alicia Wells. And the last one, I think this is the same, Melissa Steele. So those are the folks that have submitted emails to us over the past few days. As I said, it's through 4 o'clock today. If anybody submitted them after 4, they'll be retrieved and will be addressed at the future town council meeting. Again, these will be entered in to our town council minutes through our town clerk, so they'll be available for viewing if you wish to look at the minutes of tonight's meeting. Okay, so at this point, I will open up public comment. For anybody that wishes to speak to the council, please come to the podium. Please state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to speak to the council. Does anybody wish to speak?
My name is Pete Montana. I live at 54 Bel Air Drive. This is regarding the renovation to Plainville Middle School. The Capital Projects Building Committee and School System Administration of our town recognized a need for a consultant's expertise related to plans for the middle school of Plainville. Time, money, and other resources were used to publicly bid, procure, and acquire the services of this expert to provide recommendations for renovating MSP. The consultant assessment and report of the facility are comprehensive and unambiguous. The building is 30 years old with many significant deficiencies and genuine security concerns. Additionally, the superintendent and MSP staff have educational goals for our students that can't be achieved by continuing to operate out of the building as it exists. We should not be led to settle for mediocre standard of education in a jerry-rigged building for generations to come. It is clear that this issue should be decided by the people of the town through a vote.
Thank you for your comments. Just as an information point, the town council is planning to meet at our next meeting on February 21st with the superintendent of schools, with CGI, who are the company that did the original conceptual proposal for the middle school. So there's more discussion that is coming forward, but it's going to be happening in 2 weeks from on the 21st. That's probably a holiday weekend, so it'll be on a Tuesday. So just as a point of information. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Laura Montana, and I live at 54 Bel Air Drive. I'm a parent of students who attend Plainville High School and the Middle School of Plainville. I'm here tonight to ask that the citizens of Plainville be given the opportunity to decide whether or not they would like to pursue the Renovate Like New proposal by putting it out to a townwide vote. If the citizens vote no to Renovate Like New, then other options can certainly be considered. However, to forfeit the Renovate Like New proposal and the significant financial support it provides without consulting the citizens whose children are directly impacted by this decision is irresponsible. My children are too old to benefit from this decision, but I believe it is the best decision for our schools in the long run.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council?
My name is Emily Wasley, and I live at 176 Stillwell Drive. And I'm here on behalf of my husband, a science teacher, and my 2 children, Milo, age 2, and Dashel, who is currently in kindergarten at Linden. I'm sure you will hear from concerned parents and community members tonight. And although I am a part of that constituency first and foremost, I came to provide my perspective and insight as an educator in this town. Prior to taking a position as an English teacher at PHS 5 years ago, I worked at a New Haven magnet school. And the school was housed in an old converted office building previously owned by SNET. It was a horrible space to work and learn in, and it reflected in the climate and culture. When we moved into our long-promised brand new building, everything changed. The children and the teachers had access to incredible new technology and flexible classrooms and collaborative spaces, but most importantly, we finally felt respected, and it showed in the climate and culture. By the end of the following year, we were acknowledged as one of the top urban magnet schools in the country, not because of the building, but because of the performance of our students. And the year after I left to come and work here, 10 of our 95 graduates went on to attend Ivy League schools. Shortly after my 5-year-old was born, I was lucky enough to land a job here in town. And leaving my students, coworkers, and that building overlooking Long Island Sound was very bittersweet, but I'm thankful to work with amazing colleagues and a supportive administration in a building where my students and I have everything we need. I share this anecdote because I see an undeniable parallel between my experience and what is going on right now at the Middle School of Plainville and the renovation project. It is not the building itself that makes students better learners or the staff more talented educators. It's the opportunities that come with that renovation. Research shows that middle school is a critical time in students' educational careers and a major determiner of their long-term success. And nearly every investment in education will pay dividends. I believe it's in the best interest of our community to allow Mr. LePage and his team to apply for grant funding before the opportunity is lost. And by denying our middle school students and staff a comfortable, reliable, and up-to-date space, you're denying them a chance to reach their highest potential. By passing them over time and time again, you are telling them that they are simply not worthy of better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak tonight?
Hi, I'm Anka Behrens-Cook, 55 Redstone Hill in Plainville. I'm not as good of a speaker as she was, but here we go. I've been involved in Plainville schools now for over 10 years by being on the Topland PTO, followed now by the MSP PTC. I'm also on the PHS PAC. I do this because I want things to be better for the kids and the teachers and the staff.
I have also attended various Board of Ed and Town Council meetings throughout the years. For as long as I can remember, it has always been said MSP will renovate like new at the 30-year mark, which, as you all know, was last year. Many much-needed projects have been put on hold to get to that 30-year mark, including the new HVAC system, which I hear every day from my son. It gets so incredibly hot in the gym. It needs roof replacement. It literally rained on me at the last basketball game. The security vestibule, I imagine if you had kids attending or planning to attend MSP or had friends that work there, you would agree that keeping them safe is a priority. Adding a security guard helps, but it's certainly not enough. There are so much more. I won't get into all that. I attended this town council meeting last year in support of the project, though many parents didn't. Not because they didn't care, but because it was a no-brainer. Everybody thought it was going to pass. No one thought it was necessary to come. I was dumbfounded and angry when I learned that evening that all the necessary work and preparations done by Mr. LePage and others, and that the town council simply turned it down with just a no. It was ridiculous. Others were equally as angry, and I've since learned that there were close to 300 emails, if I'm not mistaken, were sent urging the council to reconsider. The Renovate Like New project is the best option for our students, teachers, and staff, but truly the community as a whole. This will also not directly benefit my kids. They'll both be at PHS starting in September. That's not the point. It will impact all younger Plainville students, their families, and our town. My understanding is that through grants and reimbursements, this will not raise our taxes and will in the end cost the town less than doing the projects piecemeal. Construction prices are going to keep going up. Waiting is definitely not going to save us money. We moved to Plainville about 17 years ago, in part because of the great school system. I believe Mr. LePage is doing a great job with his staff and is doing his very best for Plainville students, but he cannot do it alone, and certainly not without your support. For all other school projects in town, to my knowledge, the Renovate Like New was put to town vote. I was told at one time it didn't pass, but then it later did, and that's okay. If that happens, then we can look at other options, but our town deserves the chance to vote. The Plainville community should get to decide what happens to Plainville community schools. It's still a no-brainer, and I urge you to do the right thing and let us vote on Renovate Like New. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council? Anybody else? I'm going to close it. Yes, please step up. I know.
Laura Meehan at 4 Orchard Lane. And I know that we're going to be speaking about this more on the 21st, but seeing as that date was moved to when most of the families are on vacation, we're here tonight to talk about it. So I can tell you firsthand that the renovation is long overdue. As a member of the graduating class of 2000, we were the first sixth grade class at the new MSP, and that was in 1992. We were lucky back then that our town council, our Board of Ed, our citizens, they voted in support of us children. And 30 years later, I'm now an art teacher at MSP and the parent of 7th and 4th grade students. My current teaching space was not designed to be an art room. I have one small sink that needs to support classes of 20. So I don't know if you know middle schoolers, but 20 middle school students with paint and paper mache and clay at one sink. It's an exciting day for us. So this becomes hugely problematic for us, and not to add to the fact that that one sink is constantly leaking, it gets backed up, and it frequently smells like rotten eggs. The poor drainage and bacteria buildup creates a horrendous smell from our art room sink, and the floor drainage trap in the art supply closet has been so bad in the past years that myself and the other art teacher have actually become physically ill from it. So even on some days when we close the art closet, the smell is so bad, you can smell it in the hallways. It smells like the rotten egg classroom. I have a classroom that has electrical outlets that don't work. We have water stains on our ceiling, peeling tiles up on our floor, and we do the best we can. Teachers love our spaces. This is our home. We do the best we can to make our spaces beautiful and welcoming and happy for our kids, but there's only so many rainbows I could slap up on my walls to cover, water-stained ceiling tiles. So unlike some MSP classrooms where the students are freezing cold, my classroom has a heater the entire length of the classroom, and you've heard about the HVAC system. There's days in there that it's so hot that I have to crack my windows. Even last week when it was freezing cold, I had kids complaining that they were feeling sick, they're overheated, and we have to open the windows. And really not energy efficient to be opening the windows when it's, -5 outside. Every teacher at MSP could share with you similar stories from their teaching spaces. It's not financially responsible to try to piecemeal these projects. Our students, staff, and taxpayers are ultimately going to suffer for it. And I urge you to listen to your citizens, students, teachers, and families, because we deserve a voice in our student safety and a vote in how these overdue renovations will be paid for. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak?
Hi, I'm Melissa Sweeney, 40 Glenwood Drive. I'm going to keep this brief because it's echoing what other parents have said tonight. But dear town council members, I'm a Plainville citizen and a parent. I have a kindergartner and a third grader in Plainville. Last June, along with a lot of other parents that I'm friendly with, we all were concerned and surprised and disappointed when the decision to vote down the application for the middle school renovation project happened. I know many of us did ask for it to be reconsidered and were surprised to not have it reconsidered, but also not get any replies. We're trying to be engaged. We want you to know what's important to us, what's important to our kids, what's important to the staff and teachers. It is very clear that MSP school is in need of renovation, and we ask that we stop overlooking these issues of the leaking roofs, the ventilation, the HVAC, and really importantly, the need to build a secure vestibule. This is in the interest of our students and staff. Renovate Like New is also in the interest of our taxpayers. I urge you to allow Mr. LePage to apply for the grant and allow the town to have the opportunity to vote on it. Plainville citizens, parents, we should be able to vote on what happens in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak? Yes, sir.
Chris Strank, 32 Webster Street. I'm a father of 3. I got a middle schooler and 2 elementary schoolers. So I'm here on behalf of, obviously, my daughter in middle school, but that's not going to benefit her. The other 2, it should, hopefully. I want to let you guys know that I was at the MSP the other day, and just randomly I was going out through one of the doors, and the door wouldn't open. Just as a safety issue, that was an issue. Rocking back, I was like, this is not good. I was there for a rec thing, so luckily that was nothing crazy. But just in case, if there was ever something, that's an issue. Hopefully, the renovations and the new school and all the systems, this was on a whim just to come down here tonight for myself to have friends, teachers that I know in town. But this is, hopefully, going forward, you will take into consideration the citizens and the students of this town. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council that has not done so? Anybody else? Mr. Frangos.
Lou Frangos, 10 Fairbanks Street. The first question I had is, I noticed a new business. We're talking about reconstruction of Redstone Hill. Briefly, what's that going to entail? I live in that area. What are we talking about, reconstruction?
I believe, yep, if you don't mind, I believe it's a repavement project. The town engineer's here as well, if there's any further questions you have, but I believe it's a repavement project, kind of a continuation of the repavement project that was done on Town Line Road just this past year. That project, with this additional grant funding, will be used to do a similar thing on Redstone Hill.
Okay. Just a curiosity, is this any connection to the trail ride, the bicycle trail ride or anything?
No connection. Separate project, separate funding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have another thing. I'm going to drop that because of just the conversations that's going on here. I find this very perplexing. I'm going to be candid with you, and I hope I don't get stoned in the parking lot. But all I hear, what I've just heard, let me give you an example. Doors won't open. smells in rooms, all right? Did anybody ever report that to the superintendent or the principal of the school? I don't understand. In fact, I'll be honest, this is Louis being Louis, all right?
Right.
What I've been hearing right now in this meeting is something that's supposed to be handled in the school board meeting, not a town council meeting. A school board meeting, to me, these questions are people that want to address for the goods of their kids. Coming to a town council meeting almost sounds like we're asking for money. And I hate to be as abrupt as that, but I couldn't, just this one that just stuck in my head. Smells in rooms. I'd be in somebody's office and saying, you know, we've got a problem downstairs, whatever the case may be. Locked doors. The last thing in the world you'd want in a school is a door that's locked that people don't, you know, cannot operate. If you have a fire, how are you going to get these people out of there? Exactly. All right, so my question would be, why don't I hear people, I haven't heard anybody come up there and say, we went to our principal, we went to the superintendent, and we never got a reaction back. I haven't heard one person say that. But I find it fascinating that we'll be coming to a town council meeting and say, okay, renovate as new. Now, I'm not opposed, believe me when I tell you, I'm very fortunate because where I grew up, people put taxes so I could be educated. So I have nothing against that at all, believe me. But what I can't understand is, and this started with the Wheeler project, you don't hear, I need this part of the building fixed, and I don't need that part of the building. The first words that are coming out is construct as new. Now, one of the questions, in fact, since I'm saying that, I'm going to bring this up, if I may.
You can have a few more seconds if you can wrap it up, please. Okay. Thank you.
One of the things I was going to bring up, but then with this conversation, and I hope the parents understand where I'm coming from. I have nothing. I want the best for our kids, too. Plainville has a hell of a record in education. All right? But I just don't understand the logic how this is being approached. Okay? But anyway, one of the questions I had, and it ties into what these folks were talking about, prior meeting, there was a question about, I don't know which school it is, the furnace repairs. There's a furnace, we have a problem in one of our schools.
That's at the high school. Are you talking about the boiler?
Middle school, is it middle school?
The high school.
No, I thought it was up in the...
We're replacing the boiler at the high school.
Oh,
We've already done
the
heating system at the middle school about 4 years ago.
Okay, is that big?
So that's already been taken care of.
The high school project has been completed then, the furnace. I'm sorry, I can go on forever, and I know that, but I just don't understand, all right? I keep hearing this. We have a problem with this school, here's broke. Have we just deleted just pushed our schools aside? Every time I hear a new school come up, oh, it's been 30 years. Every school, 30 years. What has happened in those 30 years when the schools have been having problems? I rest my case.
Well,
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Why I believe most people are here tonight is because it's up to the council to decide how we move forward with the middle school renovation, or however you want to phrase it. The middle school is 30 years old. It's time, it's up next as far as renovating and bringing it up to code and all the other things that go along with a 30-year-old building. So that's why they're here tonight, is because it's up to the council to move the project forward or not move it forward, whatever the council decides to do. So I think that's why you see people here, tonight. And I'm sure they've spoken to their Board of Education members. Feel free to talk to them, I'm sure, after the meeting if they want, but that's the reason they're here tonight, is because it's up to us to move the project forward.
Oh, and I appreciate that. If I were in their situation, I'd be here too. I said, but what has happened in all these years?
Well, it's a 30-year-old building that's had 500.
Yeah, but you wouldn't hear
kids
some
in
of the
it.
subjects that are being discussed. It was the same thing with Wheeler, with this and this.
Well, yeah,
But
Wheeler
all
was
you ever
30
hear, you
years
don't
old
say,
when-
I never hear
yeah.
we have to fix something. All I keep hearing is renovate as new.
Well, and you understand we do get reimbursement on eligible items when we renovate.
No, now we're going in a different course. I think I've taken
Well,
up
no,
time.
I think that's.
Thank you.
But no.
You're
Lou,
welcome.
I mean, that's why we talk about renovate like new, because there is a reimbursement that the town gets.
Yeah, I get it.
When we
But
renovate like new.
And I'm going to leave on this one. My point is, if it was being maintained in a satisfactory manner, I don't think we'd have to go to the point of renovate as new. And it almost gives the feeling that they have been deleted, have not been taken care of.
And I'll just leave you with this. And I'll just leave you with this. And my issue, the way I'm coming at this is if we spend $60 million to renovate like new, and let's say ultimately we get 60% reimbursement from the state, that's a net cost of $24 million for us, for you, taxpayers. If we do, if we try to address issues one at a time or two at a time or three at a time every year, we still have to spend that money. However, we don't have that reimbursement attached to it. And we're going to do some research to make sure that's true.
I'm sure.
But, would you rather pay the $24 million for a brand new building, or would you rather spend $40 million on a 30-year-old building?
Well,
No, it's a rhetorical question.
if it
I don't
took me-
expect an answer, but that's, that's
the quick answer to it is simple. All right, if we took care of it as we went along, I would not hear a person come walking up to this podium and say the bathroom or whatever smells.
And that's where we'll disagree. I don't think it's a lack of maintenance. I don't think it's a lack of, it's just a 30-year-old building. I mean.
Anybody else wish to speak that has not done so? Yes, sir.
My name is Mike Latwell. Last name spelled L''E''T''O''I''E. I'm at 36 Robert Street here in Plainville. I have two sons who attend school here in town. We chose Plainville 11 years ago for a variety of reasons. One was the house we purchased. Another was my wife being a West Hartford teacher, understanding the value of the school system here. And we brought a little bit different context to town. We're both from the state of Utah. The state of Utah spends per pupil somewhere around $48 to $50 on each kid. Growing up in Utah, you could see how that worked and how that didn't. You have an opportunity to maintain that for your students, to make sure not only do they have the best curriculum or some of the best curriculum, but also the best buildings around. And that plays twofold. You have good learning, as the teacher mentioned before, and obviously a conducive space to do so. I'll offer this as well. Being in the building with Chris yesterday for the Plainville Little League tryouts, if there are issues in off times where there's a safety issue that could cause harm to somebody, that's a larger issue than what somebody can take care of during school hours, whether it's maintained or not. That's not possible during those times. So I would offer that for the reasons during school hours, for safety reasons for the vestibule, and just for plain old liability when you have off hours like Plainville Little League or PAL in your gym, you need to keep it up to date. You need to do the things now that cost less so that nobody's hurt in the long run. And I appreciate everybody's time and the opportunity to speak, and I hope you choose to let the superintendent go forward and vote for the renovation. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak that has not done so? Anybody else? If not, okay, well, I would like to say thank you to those, all of you, first of all, who came tonight to listen. And particular thanks to those who came up and expressed their opinion regarding the middle school renovation project. I do appreciate that you took the time to come out here. I appreciate that you prepared and you came forward and you spoke about the concerns that you have. As I said earlier, the town council is going to be meeting with the superintendent of schools and representatives from CGI on the 21st of February. I think that's going to be an extremely informative meeting, and it's going to discuss some options and where we are right now regarding the middle school. So I certainly would encourage you all to come back. If you cannot, of course, our meetings are being filmed, so you can watch them on Nutmeg television. And we encourage anybody that wishes to reach out to the town council, you can do so through our town council email box. If you would like to speak to us personally, the town manager can provide contact information for all of us or individually as you see fit. So I do want to thank you all for coming tonight, and this conversation continues. It's certainly not over tonight. Thank you again. All right, I'll close the public comments section. Moving along on our agenda, we do not have any old business to take care of. On to new business. We have some motions, so may I have a motion for item number 1, please?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Mr. Underwood.
Motion to approve and authorize the town manager to submit a proposal under the Capital Region Council of Government 2023 lot solicitation for Redstone Hill Road.
Second.
Redstone Hill.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, please.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to extend bid number 2022-16E sidewalk construction to DNP Morass Construction, Ludlow, Massachusetts, for an additional amount not to exceed $240,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to establish public hearing on Thursday, March 9th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center to hear public comment on the town manager's FY 2024 proposed budget.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? The good one to attend. Hear about the budget next year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 4.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to establish the following special meeting of the town council for the purpose of considering and acting upon the FY 2024 budget, March 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 21st, and 22nd, 2023, in the Municipal Center at 6:30.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments? If any of our council members have a problem with one of these dates, please let Assistant Town Manager Sirioli know right away. Check your calendars and see what you can do. If there are conflicts, we can take care of them earlier rather than later. Okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to approve the tax refunds as listed on the addendum.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, takes care of our new business items. Item number 12, Fire Department Incident Report. Is that something you'll be reporting on?
I'll just mention briefly that this is the Fire Department Incident Report. It was submitted to us by the Fire Marshal. It overviews the incidents and different types of calls that the Plainville Fire Department had responded to in the calendar year 2022. I believe this was submitted at the request of the Town Council. I don't necessarily have a more detailed report on it, but I'll say that there were 583 incidences that were responded to over the course of the 365-day year. And you can see that broken out here based on the types of calls that they had responded to and the number of those calls per month. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them back to the town manager and to the fire marshal, and we could report back to you.
Did we get that in our packet, or was it in an email? I know I looked at it, but I'm trying to remember. Oh, here, it's in our packet.
Yeah, I believe it's in the
It's
packet, yeah.
Page 24. Okay, got it.
Great.
Okay.
I also have printouts for those who'd like it.
Oh, okay. Anybody have any questions for the report? Interesting information. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Does anybody have anything else you'd like to add under this discussion item? Nope.
There's
All right.
no financial dashboard tonight?
No, the financial dashboard will be reported at the next council meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
The second meeting of the
The
month.
second
Yep.
meeting, yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. We do not have any executive sessions scheduled, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Underwood.
motion to adjourn.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.